In the not-so-distant future, the world had plunged into a desolate dystopia. A once thriving civilization had crumbled under the weight of its own technological advancements and the unchecked power of a tyrannical government. The air was thick with pollution, and the skies were a permanent shade of gray, a reflection of the desolation that had befallen the world. In this grim reality, the government, known as the Directorate, ruled with an iron fist. They had established a surveillance state where every move, every word, and every thought was monitored. Citizens lived in constant fear, hesitant to express their true opinions or question the authority that controlled every aspect of their lives. The Directorate had harnessed the power of advanced technology to suppress dissent and maintain absolute control. The city, once a bustling hub of life, now stood as a testament to decay. Skyscrapers that once touched the clouds now crumbled, their shattered glass windows reflecting the broken dreams of a society that had lost its way. The streets were eerily silent, except for the distant hum of surveillance drones that patrolled the skies, their mechanical eyes scanning for any signs of rebellion. Amidst the ruins, a small resistance group emerged, a flicker of hope in a world shrouded in darkness. They operated in the shadows, using encrypted communication channels and secret meeting places to avoid detection. The leader of the resistance, a woman named Mara, had witnessed the gradual deterioration of society and couldn't bear to stand idly by any longer. Mara had experienced the oppressive regime's brutality firsthand. Her family had been torn apart when her brother spoke out against the Directorate's policies. He disappeared without a trace, leaving Mara with a burning desire for justice. She vowed to fight against the tyranny that had consumed her world, even if it meant risking her own life. The resistance operated from an underground network of tunnels, hidden beneath the dilapidated city. These tunnels, remnants of a forgotten era, served as both a refuge and a strategic advantage against the surveillance of the Directorate. The resistance members, a diverse group of individuals from all walks of life, gathered in the dimly lit tunnels to plan their next move. One evening, as Mara and the resistance leaders gathered around a makeshift table, a disheveled man named Jonas stumbled into their hideout. He carried a sense of urgency in his eyes, a fear that mirrored the oppression they all faced. "They're planning something big," Jonas gasped, catching his breath. "The Directorate is tightening its grip. They've developed a new technology, mind control implants. They can manipulate thoughts, erase memories, and turn us into mere puppets." The revelation sent shockwaves through the resistance. The realization that the Directorate had crossed a line they hadn't dared to imagine fueled their determination to bring about change. Mara, fueled by a mix of anger and desperation, knew they had to act swiftly. The resistance began to plan a daring mission to infiltrate the Directorate's main facility, where the mind control technology was being developed. They gathered intelligence, recruited skilled hackers to disable the surveillance systems, and trained in stealth and combat techniques. The odds were stacked against them, but the alternative was an existence under the puppet strings of the Directorate. As the day of the mission approached, tension within the resistance grew. Doubts and fears lingered, but Mara's unwavering resolve inspired those around her. The night before the operation, they gathered in a dimly lit chamber of the underground tunnels to finalize their plans. Mara addressed the group, her voice filled with determination. "We may be facing the darkest hour of our lives, but we cannot let fear paralyze us. Our fight is not just for ourselves but for the future of humanity. We must rise against the oppression, against the manipulation of our minds. Tomorrow, we infiltrate the Directorate and we reclaim our freedom." The mission unfolded with precision, as the resistance members executed their roles flawlessly. The hackers breached the surveillance systems, creating blind spots for the operatives to slip through. Mara led the charge, navigating the corridors of the once majestic government building that now stood as a fortress of tyranny. As they reached the heart of the facility, they discovered the chilling truth about the mind control technology. Rows of chambers held individuals with vacant stares, their minds manipulated by the insidious implants. The sight fueled the anger within the resistance, hardening their resolve to dismantle the Directorate's oppressive regime. In a tense confrontation, Mara faced the leader of the Directorate, a cold and calculating figure known only as Chancellor Stratos. The final battle unfolded in the dimly lit control room, where the fate of a broken world hung in the balance. "Your resistance is futile," Stratos sneered, his voice echoing through the chamber. "The future belongs to those who control it, and I control everything." The battle raged on, a clash between the oppressive might of the Directorate and the indomitable spirit of the Resistance. In a moment of desperation, Mara confronted Stratos directly, engaging in a fierce hand-to-hand combat. The outcome would determine the destiny of a society on the brink of collapse. With a surge of determination, Mara overcame Stratos, disabling the mind control technology and shattering the illusion of absolute power. The Resistance, victorious but scarred, emerged from the shadows into the daylight they hadn't seen in years. As the people reclaimed their freedom, the city began to rebuild. The remnants of a dystopian past were gradually replaced by the seeds of a new beginning. The Resistance, once a small flicker of hope, had ignited a spark that spread like wildfire, inspiring others to stand up against oppression. Mara, standing among the ruins of the once mighty Directorate, gazed into the horizon with a mix of sorrow and optimism. The battle had been won, but the scars of the dystopian era would linger. The world, however, had a chance to heal and rebuild, guided by the lessons learned from the darkest chapter in its history.